And here we go. Good evening and welcome to the UK SimRacers Round 5 live from Donington Park, and on comms tonight we've got myself, James Parfitt, and Daan Pepels in the booth, broadcast live on the JPB YouTube channel, using iRacing, the world's premier simulator. Don't forget, guys, as well, if you are here for the first time, please give the video a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on them bells for notifications. So we are here at Donington Park, set in the city of Castle Donington, at a current track length of 3.94 kilometers in the UK, and we are using the full circuit. So we are going all the way around the circuit, including the chicane to the left-hand side this time, and using the hairpin at the bottom of the straight as well, at the top northern part of the circuit. So it's going to be absolutely amazing here this evening, and I cannot wait to see what the UK SimRacers brings us. As always, it's always full-on action, as it always has been, and has been absolutely an incredible season of racing. Now, we had Steve Pepels, who had 7 podiums in a row last time out, up until Phillip Island race 4. And to bring you all the results of the previous round, we'll bring in Daan Pepels into the booth. Dan, good evening, young sir. How are you?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, James. Yeah, what a night it was last week out at Phillip Island. I think we had 3 races where the top 3 finished within a tenth of each other, which, I mean, I don't think we're going to see the same action today, because that was absolutely crazy last week. But let's hope we're going to see more of the same. And like you said, James, the results from last week, I have them for you. In case you forgot, I don't think anyone did who watched it, because it was an absolutely crazy evening. Daniel Hunt won in race 1 ahead of Steve Heffert and Pete Van Gool in P3. Race 2 was won by Steve Heffert ahead of Cesar Rizzo and Pete Van Gool, also in P3 there. Race 3 then was for Cesar Rizzo, who took the victory. Jamie Ayres in P2 and Steve Heffert in P3. And race 4 finally was for Pete Van Gool after finishing 2 times in 3rd place. Jamie Ayres finished in 2nd, and Craig Jones for an overall amp podium once again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think at one point the cars crossed the line at 0.060 seconds apart for the first 3. It was, yeah, and that's the thing. I think this racing has just been absolutely amazing this season, and the guys have gone full bore this evening. We've got 21 cars on track for you as well. We are coming very shortly towards the end of practice. Daniel Nego, hello mate. Hello buddy, welcome in. Thank you again for joining us this evening as well for what's going to be absolutely incredible. We've got the old hairpin, we've got the Craner curves, we've got McLean's, we've got Coppice, we've got the S's, and we've got the Melbourne hairpin tonight as well. So we've got the full Donington Park circuit. And I think, Dan, in a way, both of us basically come off last week and just said, look, you know, wow, you know, that was just absolutely incredible racing. You know, I come on absolutely shattered. What are we getting from this week? Because obviously, you know, we're on 143s by Jamie Ayres in practice currently, and everybody else is on 144s, 145s. You know, are we expecting the same close racing that we got last time out, or do you think it's going to be a little bit more spread out this week?
James, let's say or I at least, am not expecting it, because this is not a track that lends itself for that close of racing as we saw last week. Of course, the run from basically the second to last corner to turn 2 was flat, so the drivers could easily slipstream each other. So I'm not expecting the same amount of close racing, but I am definitely hoping for it, because it was crazy last week. And like you said, even after the broadcast, we were like, we need a day to evaluate what we've just seen, because we had no words for it, did we?
No, absolutely not. And I think it was just absolutely incredible. Puck, hello, go Pete. Daniel says, no, go Craig Jones. So there we go. What we can do, guys, for you is we'll bring you up the overall standings currently at this moment in time. So in the AMs currently, as we start off with the AMs, don't forget we've got AMs and Pros this evening as well. We've currently got Roger Morton out in front on 1,078 points. Craig Jones there, Daniel, is in second place on 944. Darrell Wright on 885. Mick Barry is in fourth on 778. Andy Littler in fifth, 749. Steve Hansford on 681. Dale Bennison on 613. Alan Toon on 601. And Craig Crawford on 528. Now in the pros, we have got Steve Hefford has taken the lead on 11.38 there with PVG on 11.04. Jamie Ayres on 10.93, so a front three Momo lockout. Charles Kellerman from Optical Green on 9.69. Daniel Hunt from DOF Reality Studios on 8.82. Ralph Cullinan on 8.76. Carl Jacklett on 8.24. Martin Sampson on 7.70. Pete Newman in 9th on 7.50. Andy Maxwell in 10th on 7.47. Darren McLean in 11th on 6.36. Elise Main there from Optical Red on 5.97. Ches Rizzo on 3.72. And then we've got the non-scorers at the bottom of Will Carrington, Roy Verbeek and Carl Hardy. Now overall in the team championships, it's no surprise that Momo are top currently at the moment on 4,114 points. Results Cloven iRacing team on 3,023. Optical Green on 2,357. Optical Red on 2,145. Safeguard by result on 2,119 in fifth. Workguard by result on 1,963. Optical Green on 770. Pure Sims Esports on 750 there as well. So just goes to show how close the championship is in the AMS. You know, Craig Jones and Roger Morton have been backwards and forwards all season, and we're only on race 5, and I think that's going to be the thing this evening down as well. We've still got an abundance of races left to go. You know, we've got a 12-week season, we've got 7 to go, and I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. If you are here, guys, just let us know, make sure all the sounds are okay and everybody can hear us properly. So that would be absolutely incredible if you could do that for us. But 2 minutes of practice to go before we go into qualifying. Thoughts?
Well, like last week, I expect a close battle for qualifying. As we've always seen here from the UK SimRacers, in qualifying, it's really everyone for themselves, which means that everyone can turn close to their optimal lap time. Of course, not too much, not too much time for these drivers to do it though. Only 15 minutes, which will cut their time very close to the limit to actually get in a few good laps around this track. As you can see, 1 minute 43, so not as much laps as you maybe would have expected on some other tracks we go to.
1:43.768 from Ayres, as I said, the only one with the 1:43s at the moment. So I think we're in for an absolutely barnstorming race there as well. And you know, I think it's just going to be one of them things where we're going to have 21 cars going full bore, and I can't wait there to see what happens. You see Ralph Cullinan currently going up as we go into the last 55 seconds of practice. But I think overall, mate, I think we're in for an absolutely incredible race, and I just think that these guys are putting on a show. They've done so well this season, and I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. And you know, Donington Park is is the full circuit, mind you, as well. This is just going to be absolutely outstanding.
Well, we know, James, that just every track in the UK we go to, these guys have delivered. I can't remember a track in the UK where it wasn't absolutely cracking racing from the start on in. Can you?
No, I can't think of any track, to be honest. That's really full on, and Phillip Island gave us an absolute show as well. As we see the Momo guys there having a little bit of a still, you know, at each other's fronts almost, even though we're in practice, which we have just come towards the end of. So yeah, no, Dan, I can't actually think of any circuit that hasn't delivered, and these guys have kind of helped that, I think, at the same time.
You can't think of a circuit where you go like, okay, that was a good race, but it was not exceptional. Is there not any track you can think of that these guys have gone to? Not for these guys or anything, but just the track that just didn't lend itself for overtaking? Well, that's good. Good.
Where the racing has just not been top notch. I can't think of one. And even at Interlagos, where else we've been better? I don't think there's been one circuit where these guys have not expected, and I think that's the thing now as well. I think that's the hardest thing about this series company as well. That is, we're expecting it to be good. Really saying, hey, this is going to be a bad one because of the circuit. This, it doesn't matter where we seem to go. These guys can deliver everything.
Yeah, indeed, like you say, it's they are setting the bar quite high for themselves. That's let's put it like that, because every week we get surprised by how well they can race around the track where we think like it could be tough to race around here, but then these guys always prove us wrong.
Yeah, and I don't think if anybody in chat, you guys are here every single week, Puck, Daniel, and if you could think of a circuit where they haven't delivered, then please let us know. But I cannot physically think of anyone where they've literally gone out and failed almost, because they just haven't got that in them to fail. They're coming around starting their first running laps now, and they've just done it all. They've just done everything so well that they haven't ever failed on anything, and I think that's the thing we're looking at, is they've just done incredible, and I don't see today being any different.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's well, if I look at qualifying sometimes there has been a moment where I was like, okay, I didn't expect the gap to be this big for pole position, but yeah, that's like 1 or 2 times where that has happened. And even in qualifying, where normally you see the gaps becoming a bit bigger towards the end of the season, it has never been like that.
No. And I think that's all the way across the board. We've had some great performances from the AMs. Craig Jones, again, has put on a show. Great person to have in the interview booth. I've got to be honest, having him and Ralph Cullinan together from the Results Clothing O racing team, I sit here and laugh for about 5 minutes and don't really get much interviewing done. But, I think that's the thing. And I think it's weird with this, because you don't see many communities like this where they've all kind of embraced everything. We get Steve Hefford, who jumps in the booth pretty much solidly every single week for a chat. Craig Jones, everybody comes in. I don't think there's ever been one race where we've not had anybody. Even Alan Toon, Sir Alan Toon, has been in the booth with us as well, and he's just an absolute hoot to chat to. And I think from the community side here, what they've built and what they've got is absolutely incredible.
And I think we've seen that time after time, where they just keep performing, they just keep bringing each other to another level, which is amazing. We have to watch out, though, James, that we are not expecting the impossible from them, because they are getting quite close to it, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm not, all honestly with you, Dan, I'm not really sure what else we can expect from them, because there's just a delivery of quality driving overall. And we do see some, action in race 4 that has lent itself to a little bit of craziness that's gone on. We see a lot of incidents and stuff like that as well. But I think it's how they deal with the incidents that's different.
Yeah. They just, and I said this last week as well, it's not, if you have an incident with these guys, they're like, well, it happened, this and this can be done better next time. They talk about it, and there won't be more than 2 messages back and forward from this and this happened, okay, well, sorry, my fault, we'll watch it next time, and it's done. So,
yeah, I think that's the thing as well. And as you see, guys, some of the times are coming up now. They have only done one fast lap at the moment. So we have got Daniel Hunt on pole on a 1:45.639, and he is going to be below that. I don't think that's going to be the statutory time. They have got to watch off tracks, I'm not going to lie, especially down on the base into the old hairpin. There is a big opportunity that they can get an off track here, and let's see if we can catch up. Craig Jones is basically just starting his lap, so we'll see what it seems like to do a lap here at Donington Park. We're going to be heading down the straight. We're going to be full flat as much as we can get out of this little MX5 all the way to the left-hand side. Down we go through the gears, second gear. We're going to roll it aside to curb, see how far as we can get on the power as we spread it out now, drop down through Redgate and down through Craner Curves. We're going to keep to the right-hand side again. Shortest route possible, straight line as much as we can, the bottom of the Craner Curves before we come into the old hairpin. And this is it. Cannot take too much of that curb because you're going to be off, and that's going to be a off track there for Craig Jones. So that lap is going to be null and void, and that's what we were saying. They've got to be careful of that bottom area of the old hairpin because it doesn't take much, as you've seen with Craig Jones, to run in too deep through the first section and not get the car turned. And I think from our perspective, Dan, I think they've really got to look out for that tonight because I think some people could really struggle, especially coming on the first lap with a new tyre model on the MX5, going around that bottom bit and looking at turning the car right, and it might not go at all. You know, I'm expecting a few grass cutters this evening.
I've been here last week for a broadcast with the MX5s, and, well, some drivers had cold tyres. And I don't know, because they said, we don't know why this happens, but it's only on this track, where we have experienced it yet, that they had cold tires, basically for 2.5 laps. So, after 2.5 laps, the tires started to come in. So, these drivers are going to have to really watch out what they're doing in those first couple of laps, because those will be crucial to not lose any positions, and if possible, gain any. But also, you want to keep pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. They've got to be keeping in the right direction. You know, we're on board with Jamie Ayres now. He's dropping down Craner. See what he can do at the bottom of the old hairpin, because it is a tight corner. You want to try and carry as much speed as you can. And sometimes I wonder if Jamie's got a handbrake in his car, you know, Dan, because he spends more time spent sending that car sliding sideways than sometimes we see him actually going forward in it. So I do wonder if he's got like a little handbrake that he's pulling on, that all of a sudden he's sitting there going round sideways in the car, because it's not the first time we've seen this car number 46 here Tokyo drifting it round the corners, have we?
If I am correct, there is a handbrake in these cars, isn't there?
Yes, you can use one if you have one.
Okay, well, there we go. There's your answer. He might be using it.
But whether or not, you know, I couldn't use the handbrake, I'd end up putting myself in the wall, you know, and that's where I'd probably end up, to be fair. But, Jamie just missed the last S's of turn 9 and 10, the chicane there, completely missed it, and is going to have to go again on that one. So we do have AMs and pros, guys. The AMs are in blue, the pros in yellows. I'm sure I tell you every single week, but if you are new here, this is what is happening currently at the moment with the timing tower. So you can see the AMs are in blue, pros in yellow. Steve Efford from the pros on a 144.389, currently sitting on top of the timing tower. Pete Newman on 144.405 as well. So some quick times. We did see a 143 from Jamie Ayres, so I'm half expecting him to get a little bit below that as well. Ches Rizzo sitting in 6th place currently at the moment as well. He was one last week that we had a chat with, and basically he was there, Dan, and he said that obviously as he was taking his victory in race 3, it was like, that was for us in the booth, you know, as he comes so close in race 2, like 0.003 or 0.07, I think race 2 was. It was just absolutely unbelievable. 3, yeah. And, you know, he was close. Phil across the pond, good evening. Oh, good evening, young sir. I hope you are well. Thank you again for joining us. You have joined us in quali. 5 minutes remaining on the clock there, buddy. And currently Steve Efford is on top on a 144.389 with Pete Newman on a 144.405. So there we go.
Well, they're close to qualifying once again, James. I said it before, and the gap at the moment, if my maths are correct, which they not always are.
Oh my God.
16 thousandths of a second.
Dan and maths is never good, guys. If you have been here, it seems to be a common theme where we give Dan maths and it ends up going wrong. So,
Well, I got them right this time, I think. 16 thousandths of a second.
Did you stick them have you stuck them into a calculator to check your results? Have you done the inverse of what you've done previously?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, as long as you're sure this time, and we've not just given false information, that's all that matters.
I'm 100% sure.
Mick Barry missing the chicane there. That's a shame because he was doing a nice little lap there. Currently leading the AMs in 8th there. So you heard it here first, guys. Dan is sure that he's got his maths correct. So there we go. What's Jamie Ayres going to do? He went green and then he's gone yellow the last two. So I don't think there's any major improvements. No real improvements across the board currently. As you can see on the bottom of your screen, there are the qualifying sectors at the moment and people are yellow, yellow, yellow. Charles Kellerman is really the only one who's got a green sector. There was a spinner there. That looks like it's Craig Jones, so we won't worry too much about that. I can tell you it actually was Craig Jones. So there we go. I think overall, you know, it's good to see some of the people back. We've got Elise Main back again this week from the Optical Red as Mr. Well, I think it was 1 week or 2 weeks she may have missed, and it's good to have her back on track as well. I think that's going to be an interesting one to see. Craig Crawford has also returned for us as well in the Optical Red team there as well, car number 8. So it's good to have Craig back. So welcome back to you, Craig, and you know, good luck there, buddy. I hope you come out and absolutely smash it this evening. We've got 3 minutes basically on the clock remaining, and so far, Steve Hepburt's got the pole on a 144. No 143s for Jamie Ayres yet, though, Dan. And, you know, he was done a 143 in practice. I just don't think he's going to quite get there this time around.
I don't think so either. It's going to be close, though. But I don't think they are going to get there. The track, I don't know what the track temperature is. Is there any way for us to know? Yeah, there we go. 24 degrees is the track, so there shouldn't be too much in it. Excuse me, there shouldn't be too much in it.
What was it? Yeah, hold on a minute. What was all that about? Somebody's just given Dan a squeeze there at the moment he's talked, and unfortunately he went up high like Michael Jackson, so apologies for that one. Look at Ralph, the so-called pro. Craig Jones, don't come in starting digging at Ralph Cullinan already. It's not his fault he's been off track a couple of times, is it? He's down in 11th, and yes, you are ahead, but hold on there, Mr. Jones. We know, and you and I both know, that if you take this AMS Championship this season, you're going pro next season, mate, so be careful what you say here, buddy, because it could come back and bite you in the rear end where you're saying about the pros, and you could be a pro next season, so be careful. If you don't beat Ralph Cullinan, you're going to be eating a big dose of humble pie next season, young sir. So that is Craig Jones coming in with his normal grief for poor old Ralph Cullinan, who hasn't had a good qualifying at all. 125 on the clock currently at the moment, so there we go.
I would say he's in his rights. The gap is 5/10 from an AM in front to a pro at the moment.
Don't tell him that. God blimey, he's never going to stop going on otherwise if you give him the gaps as well. You know what I mean? Did you just call Craig young? Well, he's probably younger than me, Daniel, so at the moment, yeah, everybody seems to be younger than me at the moment, buddy. I don't think I found one person older than me, which sucks, but there we go. It is, well, actually, so Alan Toon, I think, is the only man I know of that's older than me in this series. So, yeah, you know, look, dude, he is young. Compared to me, everybody's young. Dan's a whippersnapper here. He was born in the 90s, you know what I mean? I'm definitely older than him.
In the 90s? In the 2000s?
Oh, my God. I wish. You know what I mean? 2000s. Yeah. Nice. Thanks, mate. I'm definitely old now, considering.
Did I just make it worse?
What? I don't want to know, do I? I really don't. No. Mine was that there was a 19 in front of my date of birth with a 7 in it, so let's not go there too much on that one. Right, guys, the results are done and dusted. The qualifying is done and dusted, and the grid is up there. Dan, don't forget, Dan, to get on quite quickly. Off you go, son.
Well, quite quickly, we're going to speed read through it. Steve Hefford in P1, Pete Newman P2, Daniel Hunt in P3, 310s in it for the top three. Pete Van Gool in P4, Jamie Ayres in P5, Chandler Rizzo P6, 7th, Carl Jacqueline, 8th, Mick Barry, the first of the AMs, Craig Jones in 2nd, ahead of Ralph Cullinan, and Darren McLean alongside him, Elise Main in P12. There we go. The P13 for Darrell Wright, 14 for Charles Kellyman, 15th, Roger Morton, 16th, Andy Maxwell, Dale Bettison in P17, 18th, Steve Hansford, Andy Littler P19, Sir Alan Toon in P20, and Craig Crawford in P21.
So there we go, guys, and that is the grid up for you. Currently, we've got this pole man, Steve Hefford, 4 15-minute races. Don't go anywhere because you're not going to want to, and if you do, you're crazy. So get your drinks, get your popcorn, settle down, settle in for some absolutely epic racing that's just about to take part this evening. And trust me when I say it's going to be incredible here tonight for the UK SimRacers. So we are waiting for Andy Maxwell, who's just jumped off the grid, and we're looking at going back on again. So Andy there down in the 16th place. So we'll just wait for him to jump back onto the grid. Well, Dan, all I can say is, are you ready for what is about to commence here this evening?
After last week, I think I am.
Okay. And again, you've been squeezed by somebody because, you know, you went up higher than an Alton Towers roller coaster there, buddy. I got to be honest. You know, so
I don't have to mention it again.
Well, you went up very high.
Okay.
All right. Here we go, guys, as well. James, stop giving Dan grief. Right, the lights are coming on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and round 5 of the UK SimRacers MX5 from Donington Park is underway. We've got the run down into the first corner. We've got Steve Hefford currently in first place, side by side with Pete Newman as these guys go into turn 1, which is a red gate. Currently sitting there in the pole position and taking the lead currently at the moment is Steve Hefford. Further back, Mick Barry is held on to the AMS lead from Craig Jones. Ralph Cullinan's gained the position. Craig, he's on his way, sunshine. So you might want to see where you end up before the end here of this standings. Oh, Daniel Hunt. Daniel Hunt is trying to send it on Pete Newman. He's trying to hold on to that car. Jamie Ayres trying to come through as PVG runs over the left-hand side as they're heading up in the hill into Coppice for the first time this evening. Dan, no major incidents. Everybody's through clearly. All good in the hood so far.
At the moment we are. The lights didn't stay on for long there. I was surprised by how short that was. It was 5 red lights on and almost immediately out. So might some drivers have been caught out by that? I don't think at the moment, because the biggest movers are only up and down one position. So Andy Maxwell and Roger Morton have swapped positions. Ralph Cullinan and Darren McLean have swapped positions. And Jamie Ayres and Pete Van Gool have. So that's the only people who have gone up and, of course, down a position.
Now, despite what we seem to think here, well, I'm kind of not expecting that to continue. You know, as we see Newman trying to make the move on Hefford up the inside. Daniel Hunt is trying to follow him into the Melbourne hairpin. We go with Steve Hefford currently as well. So Steve is following now Pete Newman. I think that's anybody's fear there with Newman, mate, because if you let him go and he gets out in front, he could be gone. And I think they've got to hang on to him as best as physically possible here, because at the end of the day, if they don't, he will go and he will leave a gap and you will struggle to catch him. And I think they've just got to be smart.
And they have to. Daniel Hunt trying to overtake Steve Hefford there as well. Pete Newman, they have to work together, I think, as well, because, like you said, if they don't, he's going to be out in front and he's going to pull a second gap, and he's going to get them out of the slipstream, which is, as we know, quite powerful in these MX5s.
Yeah, we must have lost PVG somewhere, because I tell you what, he's gone down 5 places, and I've got a funny feeling he's done this himself down into turn, where is he? Turn 1. And he lost a chunk. No, it's down. It's in the hairpin, isn't it? He lost a chunk of positions, one after the other there. Ches got past him. Jacklet, Barry, and Jones. So poor old PVG lost a chunk of positions all of a sudden and has gone sliding down the order. Yeah, it might have been a slowdown, but I've never really seen him, unless he took it in the S's, of course. But back up front, Newman, Hefford, and Hunt now are literally less than half a second apart. As you can see, that's what creases me up about that circuit, that set of turns there, Dan. Then bollards on the S's, turn 9 and turn 10 here on the full circuit. Don't do anything. You can just drive straight through them.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, that has opened a real new world for me now, because I was driving around them.
There is nothing to even fear regarding them, and I'll show you in a minute when we go around, repeat them around there again. Literally, you could drive through the bollards at turn 9 and 10. There is literally, they're just a figment of people's imaginations because they don't actually stop you going anywhere. So the bollards there at turn 9 and 10, you know, a little bit useless. I'm not saying they're going to make them static bollards. I'm sure they're probably on a hinge anyway at the real life circuit where they sort of flap down when a driver goes through them. But yeah, mate, you don't have to go through them. You don't have to drive around them. Just to let you know.
I've had a track walk just before this race started, an hour before this, and they were definitely there and they were solid.
No, not anymore. All gone. You got into a whole new world, Dan, as you know, as it is said. So Daniel Hunt trying to close down onto the back of Steve Hefford. I will jump on board with Daniel Hunt in the when they go round into the S's. We're coming round currently round turn 6 before we start going up the hill into McLean's. Pete Newman, Steve Hefford there is in first and second, third place. Elise Main has had an incident. We will try and have a look back at that momentarily. But let's jump into the cockpit. And I'll show you exactly what we mean, and Daniel Hunt here with these bollards at turn 9 and 10. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Donington as well, but they are literally, well, within iRacing, should I say, they don't do much good. And let's just, there you go, look, goes through the first one and through the second ones.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, good to know. Now I see how a professional does it. He's going to try and get up the inside of Steve Hefford into the first hairpin. He's got to make that move stick.
Yeah, they've gone round side by side round the hairpin. Hairpin can Daniel Hunt run him now on the outside up into Goddard's. He's not going to be able to get there. I think Hefford just basically got a lot better exit out of the Melbourne hairpin now, and before he starts racing down the first straight here at Donington Park before they head into Redgate. And currently there's gaps starting to appear. Roger Morton in the AMS here is currently in 15th overall, 4th place in class. He's being chased down by Dale Benison. He's also trying to get onto the back of Andy Maxwell. Now in the AMS lead is in 8th and 9th. That's Mick Barry and Craig Jones. Mick has got about a 3.38 second gap at the moment, and Craig is under attack from Ralph Cullinan here. So all this talking that Craig was doing has not led him very well at the moment, because he's got his compatriot, the Irishman, that is Ralph Cullinan, right up behind him. So if they swap positions, that's going to be quite eventful, I think. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what these guys can do here, whether or not Ralph's going to really push the move on Craig. Phil's also told us the bollards of 9 and 10 used to be the cones, and the marshals used to replace them every lap, as I used to wear Donington. So are have they got them stand-up poles there now, Phil, or are they still cones that need replacing? Because if the cones that need replacing, I guess they're going to be replaced every single lap, I would have thought. As we can see here, Andy Maxwell having a go in the inside of Dale Benison around Coppice before we go on to the back straightaway, leading us down into the S's, and that's Andy Maxwell currently out in front. There is gaps opening up of second gaps at the front, and this is what we feared, and this is what we both said, Dan. You give Newman an inch, he will take a mile, and he is taking a mile, opening a gap out to 1 second already.
Already over a second, and it basically hasn't taken long. And also I think the fighting that Hefford and Jamie Ayres did, or Daniel Hunt, because Jamie Ayres has overtaken Daniel Hunt. The fighting that they did, Hefford and Daniel Hunt, allowed Pete Newman also to create a little bit of a bigger gap, and that just snowballed into the lead that he has now. Of course, outside of the slipstream, you will pick up a very, very distant Stowe now, but that is not going to bring him anywhere, really, is the effort.
No, absolutely not. And I think that's going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye on, because as we all know with Pete Newman, once he gets the bit between his teeth, he's gone there as well. So PVG has gone up the inside of Pete. Chasing down Carl Jacklett currently at the moment. Ches Rizzo is going down the order faster than my McDonald's went into my stomach. I've got to be honest. He's dropped all the way down into 11th currently, -5 overall at the moment. So that's Ches Rizzo down a little bit into 11th place and just lost another place to Darren McLean. Carl Jacklett is under attack from PVG. PVG's got the bit between his teeth and he's not going to let up, because he is absolutely flying. And he's trying to track down the currently Carl Jacklett at the moment as well. So PVG on the move there, buddy.
The gap, though, to P3 overall, or P4 overall, is quite big, though, James, isn't it? It's the gap that he's fighting with. He's going to go up the inside, and that's move done before they even get to the exit or the corner. But now the gap for him to P4 is 3 seconds. So that's going to be quite a big gap for him to do. But Carl Jacklett, not letting this one go without a fight, comes back up the inside of Pete Van Gool. They're going to be side by side, front nose to front nose, down the main straight. Into Coppins, I think it's this move's going to be done.
Yeah, they've gone round Goddard and leading us down into Redgate now. PVG has got ahead of Carl Jacklett. Ralph Cullinan has cleared Craig Jones. Oh, poor. Oh no, he's still tucked up behind. I thought they swapped positions there for a minute, but Ralph Cullinan has not cleared Craig Jones as of yet, and he's still working on it as he goes up through, now coming down into the hold hairpin. Where would this go? Because this is going to be interesting here, because Craig was talking a lot of smack in YouTube, and it's looking like he's under pressure here, and if he loses his place to Ralph Cullinan, can you imagine? If I was Ralph, I would be literally giving him grief constantly.
Well, what it always does, if I talk to myself like that, and I think like, oh, you're so bad, you're used to be the pro here, but I'm faster and I'm the am. What that does for me is it puts unnecessary pressure on myself to perform well, and that never ages well for me, at least. They're now side by side going into the S's. How's this going to age then? Well, Craig Jones just allowed him by.
Yeah, I think that's the thing now, because you can't give Craig Jones grief for that, because he'll turn around and go, oh, I let him by. I let him through. And you're like, did you know? Did you really? Because he was kind of closing all over the back of you. And I think, you know, did you really, Craig? Did you? They were, as you have them now, when I was last there. All right, so on them little, I think they're plastic anyway, aren't they? They're like that flexible, flimsy plastic that they ride over and then retract back up again, if I'm not mistaken. However, for poor Craig Jones, he has just lost another place to Ches Rizzo there as well. So that is Ches down in 9th place at the moment. He's now pushed Jones down to 10th. Jones is trying to come back through around the outside of Redgate. That's not going to work unless Ches gives you a big dose of respect and tails off there, but Craig takes a little bit of the gravel into Redgate as he's now dropping down through the trainer curves and down into the old hairpin as well. So there we go. So that is one of the closest battles. PVG and Carl Jacklett are still trying to go at it. It's good to see Carl Jacklett this week do a lot better than last week, because he had a rough week last week.
Yeah, wasn't there at all last week. We normally used to see him, like he is now, in the top 6, top 5, at least battling to be there. And yeah, last week he had a really, really rough one. We've had a couple of drivers this autumn season that have quite had a rough evening somewhere. So it's not something new for us to see. Pete Van Gool, why is he letting him by? Is he out of fuel or something?
No.
Which I do not expect, or another slowdown for him.
I think that's going to be needing a chat there, because I'm not entirely sure why PVG would allow them back through again. He's just done all the hard work. But I tell you what, who is doing hard work at the moment is Daniel Hunt. And the reason for that is he has got the ever-closing Jamie Ayres, and he's going to be working hard to keep Jamie back. We've got 2:38 on the clock. We're going to get this one and one more. So we'll see how these guys battle on. But I think for the first race, this has been quite tame in conjunction to what we're used to. we're used to seeing Newman run away. We're used to seeing Hefford give Newman a bit of a good old battle. But I think at the moment, where they've now sort of allowed Newman almost to open up that gap, Dan, that they just can't keep up with him. And as soon as we said you give him an inch, he'll take a mile, he took a mile.
Well, half of that I agree with, because the gap is still 1.3 seconds, and over the last 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 7, the gap has opened up 3/10, which I can't call that taking him out. That could easily be lost with one little mistake for Pete Newman. But yeah, once he's outside of the second Hefford, it's going to be difficult for him to catch up.
Yeah, it's still Ralph Cullinan in front of Craig Jones. Ches Rizzo's managed to get his way back through as well, as the leader is coming down into the S's. So we'll just have to see how that one pans out. It should be one more lap, if I'm not mistaken, from these guys here this evening.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's going to be definitely one more. We've got 4 15-minute heats, guys. Don't forget, we've got heat 1 and 2 together. And then we've got chase sessions for race 3 and 4 due to the nature of the reverses here as well. So stay tuned, because, as I say, you're not going to want to miss any of this action. As we can see, Craig Jones trying to... He didn't try. That's the thing.
Well, if he can show that he could do it, if the opportunity presents itself, I think then he says enough. But in the end, James, you can be 5 seconds quicker in qualifying and be P1, but in the race do not have the pace and be in P16. In the end, you got to be there when the points are handed out, and that's in the race and not in qualifying.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think with this is you've got 4 races. They've got to make sure they can get there. You know what I mean? So Phil said now they just have to replace them after each race as they get battered to death as everyone seems to run through them. I think that's the thing. When you don't make a static barrier like that and you run with a plastic fold-out barrier, that's what's going to cause you the problem. But as you say, if the guys aren't getting punished for taking out them barriers every single time, it's going to be done and dusted. You're going to have to get out on track and replace them every single time as well. Pete Newman is coming round. Copper's going down into the S's at the moment. We'll keep an eye on that as he comes across the line. PVG is now battling his way with Carl Jacklett. There he is. I knew he was somewhere on track. He's got his normal blinking issues with his internet that I'm not quite sure if he's 100% aware of. But the leaders are gone through the S's and down into now. Weird one from Pete.
Yeah, I agree with that. The only thing I can think of is a slowdown, but where? At Coppice, could you get a slowdown there? I don't really think so. He's going to go around the outside of Carl Jacklett off the hairpin. Is he going to be able to make that one stick? I think we'll also have Pete Newman finishing.
There is Pete Newman coming across the line. There is Barney, flag bearing, waving. Pete Newman takes the victory in race 1. Steve Hefford in second place. Jamie Ayres in third. Daniel Hunt fourth. Carl Jacklett will come across the line, I believe, in fifth. Held on from PVG there as well. Mick Barry, the winner of your AMS. So congrats to Mick Barry there. Ches Rizzo coming across the line in 8th. Craig Jones there in 9th. And Ralph Cullinan and Craig Jones crashed together. And this is how this one panned out here. Craig is car number 29. Ralph is car number 32. Oh, Craig Jones.
Is that really Craig Jones? I think he was all the way up over the curb.
It was Craig Jones there, ceremoniously, that one there, taking out this one. So, ouch, Craig Jones. That's a bit nasty today. So there we go. The guys come across the line. We're just waiting for Andy Littler, and he has finished as well. So, yeah, that was Craig Jones, mate. Was Craig Jones coming across the line there. That was a little bit unnecessary.
Well, I think different about that. I think Ralph Cullen closed him down.
Oh, what were you looking at? No way! Look, on board. We go on the chopper. Craig sent it. Ralph was already turning. Oh, sausages. No, sorry.
Well, SDK agrees definitely with me as well. That's why I cut away there. So I think SDK agrees with me as well.
You would say that anyway because you get support. I'm going to put a poll up and you can decide. Did Craig take out Ralph? That's all we need to say in the poll. So let me know what you think. We'll run it for a little while and then we'll come back and see what the verdict is. Yes or no? That is it. Did Craig take out Ralph at the end of that race? The poll is up. Click away, guys, and we'll end it before the end of warm-up here in the 10 minutes. So there we go. I think there's going to be some mixed opinions on that one, you know what I mean? It's, yeah. Who said no? Oh, blimey. You know what I mean?
Well, you're now match fixing because you're basically saying everyone who says no is wrong. But I'm saying everyone who says no is right. Well, yes, I have to agree with a certain part of that. It was a late send from Greg Jones, but I think at the end of the day, he got the car turned, and he didn't T-bone him. It was just, I think, that Ralph Cullinan, because from the point where I watched it the first time, I couldn't watch it a second time, neither did you. He was all over the curb on the inside. So where are you then if being Greg Jones supposed to go?
Break,
I don't know if it's the case.
Break. There's a pedal in the middle that's got a B on it that you can press.
Yeah, he did that. He made the corner, didn't he?
He should have broke before it hit him.
He did. He did. It's a difficult one. I would say a racing incident.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know, mate. I think, I don't know. We'll see. Down Rising Track, Craig is currently crying. Right, let's have a chat to my residential interviewee before the start of race 2. We are joined in the booth by one and only Mr. Steve Hefford, who finished in second in that race. Steve, how are you, young sir?
Yeah, not bad, you?
Mate, I'm always good. I'm always good. I don't know what I was kind of expecting from that race, but we did say that once Pete kind of got out in front, if you gave him, it's like that saying, isn't it? If you give him an inch, they'll take a mile. You give Pete an inch on the racetrack, he's going to leave you for dust. And he kind of did that as the race evolved.
Yeah, I made a slight mistake, which gave him a run out of the chicane towards the end. And then it's just when he gets his head down, you can tell he goes quiet and he just gets his head down and he's pumping in the laps, you know what I mean? And when someone around you is doing a perfect lap, every mistake you make is just, you never get it back. So I managed to hang with him. My set came to a little bit towards the end, and I think he was just taking it easy, just making sure he didn't mess up, towards the end. But yeah, it was decent. Dan was close a couple of times. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a decent enough start to the night.
Yeah, well, points on the board, isn't it? Points on the board. We discussed this. You've got to finish the race 4 races, haven't you, to get the main maximum points? And, you are ahead in the championship at the moment. I know, Steve, you've told us before, it's not about the championship, it's about the racing. I know that. But a little bit, I think if Verstappen said that to Hamilton, it'd be a little bit lying. But, look, I think at the end of the day, you've got to finish, and that's all you've managed to do in race 2. You finished, in race 1, sorry. You finished, you got the job done, you got second place, you got points on the board. Go into race 2 and see where we go from there.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I mean, doing well is a result of just finishing races, and in a decent position. Don't take too many chances, Those couple of opening laps are a bit interesting still, but it's all good. Yeah,
we're still on the whole, 2.5 laps sliding, aren't we, really, before we sort of kind of get hooked up. Partly because, obviously, the fact, as we know, the tyre model and everything else, we discussed this till the cows come out, really. But But I think overall, you know, as the first race of Donny goes, because it is quite a tough circuit, the old hairpin is tricky at the bottom, and as you say, on cold tyres, it doesn't take much to run wide on that grass, and there's nowhere to go apart from up the hill on the grass, because as soon as you try and make a fast adjustment and turn it, it's going to be off, you know what I mean? So they've got to be kind of sensible, and I suppose from your point of view, you've got to be kind of sensible trying to make your way back through the field.
Yeah, I don't know what the reverse is, but there seems to be. There's definitely. I don't know if you remember a few seasons ago, there was a change they made to the car and the tyre models, and it was a bit of a leveler. It was around the time when they changed to a sequential box, I think. And because there used to be, you know, bigger variances between the front and the back of the grid kind of thing, and then there was this change, and it was a bit easier to drive, a bit dumbed down, I think, and it was a bit of a leveler, and it seems to have stretched out again now. So that's good in one way, but it's bad in another, because there's, you know, bigger speed differences on the reverse grids and stuff. So yeah, you just got to have eyes everywhere, really.
Yeah, I think overall, let's be real, Steve, we've got to have eyes everywhere up here in the booth. You've got to have them all on the track, because it is such close racing, isn't it? You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing. But overall, mate, a good start to the evening. You know, we might catch up with you later. You never know, we might get a race victory. I will say as well, you did set the record last week for 7 podiums in a row. You did lose out on race 4, Phillip Island.
I know. I got a bit of damage, which limited my top end, and they were all getting away then. So yeah, I knew it was the end. It was in sight, but you never know.
7 podiums, then, mate. It's not been done before.
I'll take that.
Absolutely. One for the record books there, Steve. But as always, buddy, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck in race 2.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. So there you go, that is Steve into the booth. What have I missed here? Darryl Wright, Craig is currently crying Ralph's fault. I don't know about that, Craig. 2 slowdowns. We did kind of figure that one out there, Dan, didn't we, with PVG? He used his teammate as a brake. Thank you, Phil. My boy Kian is watching. He was 10. Can you please give him a shout out? Absolutely. Kian, welcome in. Thank you so much for watching us this evening. Massive shout out to you from all of us here in the JPB booth. So myself, James Parfitt, and Dan Pepels. So much love for watching, and hope you're cheering on your dad and telling him it was his fault for hitting Ralph in the hairpin there, Kian. So much love to you.
Do vote no. If we take a look at the vote now, James,
what?
Can you take a look at the voting for me at the
No, I think that's been fixed. How many accounts did you log in with?
No, I didn't even vote, did I?
Yeah, right.
I didn't even vote. No, I didn't.
Uh-huh. Yeah, right.
Okay, then.
Did you actually vote? Because I can't vote, because obviously I've done it.
No, I did not vote, especially for the reason that I really wanted to know what the people thought about it.
So you didn't vote at all?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's Greg Jones and his son.
Maybe. Somebody's voting no quite a lot here. Craig.
And then Darryl Wright, I think, is... Maybe someone has done it for fun, but yeah. How do we know? It's anonymous voting. Or isn't it? I think it is.
Yeah, it's anonymous voting.
Yeah. So there's no way we're going to find out, which is a good thing, because otherwise James would come and find you if you said no. Because he harshly disagrees with my opinion. I can hear that.
Yeah, well, you know, it's always me as well. I'm a man of integrity. Yeah, right, Mr. Jones, of course you are. So there we go as well. If you could spell the word, of course. Had the second bite out of the cherry there, Craig, so much love to you. But guys, you know, we've got 50...
Poor Greg Jones.
I know, it's getting grief, didn't he? So, yeah. But look, at the end of the day, race 1 was race 1. I'm sure Ralph would have forgiven you, hopefully, maybe, possibly.
Knowing these guys, he will.
Okay, well...
It's what we said before. These guys don't take long to forgive each other for something they've done.
No, you know, oh, come on. Does anybody need a date? They're going on in chat right about now. So if anybody needs a date, please carry on. Click on the link.
No, do never click on that link, James. That's dangerous what you said there. Never click on that link.
No, don't. But there you go. You know, we get them. That's basically it. Right, guys. The end of warm-up has come on. As before we go into the final 15 minutes. Here is the grid for what should be race 2, if I'm not mistaken. Top 10 reverse. Dan, off you go.
Well, in P1 for the top 10 reverse, we have Darren McLean, Craig Jones in P2. So you'll be starting quite a way up. Cesar Rizzo in P3, P4, Mick Barry, P5, Pete Van Gool, P6, Carl Jacklett, P7, Daniel Hunt, P8, Jamie Ayre, Steve Heffert, P9, P10 for Pete Newman, Darrell Wright in P3 in the AM class, but P11 overall, and Ralph Cullinan in P12. Then we move on to P13. And we find Charles Kellyman there, Roger Morton in P14, P15, Andy Maxwell, P16, Dale Bennison, P17, Steve Hansford, P18, Elise Main, P19, Craig Crawford, and P20, Andy Littler. And last on the grid will be Sir Alan Toon.
Sir Alan Toon last on the grid here as well, but the race is underway, guys. The lights are on. Darren McLean is on pole. We've got 3, 2, 1, and we're away. And Darren McLean here trying to make a move as fast as possible to get out in front. We've got Ches Rizzo absolutely trying to come through on top of Craig Jones here. Can Craig make this a victory for his son Kian in the chat there as well? So can Craig hold on to this second place? I think Kian's next to him. Go on, Dad, you got this. As he goes racing down through the crane of curves now. Craig unfortunately drops down into 4th place as PVG has muscled him around as well. And hold on, Craig's on the grass. Craig is on the grass and in the gravel and dropping down the order. And unfortunately for Craig there as well, that's not good. It's pushed him all the way down into 15th. Ches Rizzo is now trying to make the move up into the start. Apart from Craig going off track there, mate, everything else seems to be good in the hood.
Yeah, once again, quite a good start. This time we do have quite a lot of movers. It is Pete Newman up 4, Jamie Ayres up 4, but that's what we can expect. Oh, that's Pete Newman off, I think. Pete Newman off into the grass, into the gravel actually, with Daniel Hunt. Have those two found each other and hit each other around? Is that the case?
Yeah, someone started about here, I think. There is Newman there. Hunt's on the inside, I think. I'm just hoping that isn't a helpful little... Oh!
Mick Barry,
wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Mick Barry got a little bit of a snap on the rear, which is easy to do now in the first laps of a race like this. And yeah, spun him around, of course. No, not on purpose at all, but just a snap on those cold tires. And that caused some calamity for Pete Newman and Daniel Hunt both.
Yeah, but Ches Rizzo out in front, PVG in second at the moment. The gainers are coming up on the left-hand side. There you go. Jones is down 10, McLean is down 7, and Barry's down 3. That's a massive lot of places that Craig Jones has lost there as well. Cullinan up 6, Hefford 5, Ayres 5, Van Gool 3, and Rizzo 2. Now, the thing is with this as well, we saw Rizzo last week, Dan, and I think this is going to be the big thing for us because Rizzo isn't a slouch in this car. And he's, and he's putting in some meaty times, so I think it's going to be interesting to see whether or not PVG can stay with him.
Well, the gap is already over a second, so it's going to be difficult for Pete Van Gool now. We got within that second. I think a little bit of a mistake there from Rizzo as we can go to the front, I think. Oh, they're side by side. They're side by side into the right hand. There they go. And that's Pete Van Gool. Oh, that's the cross. That's well held by Cesar Rizzo because that was a difficult snap he got there. Now it's Jamie Ayres up the inside of him as well. Is he going to be able to make that move stick? At the moment, they're still side by side. Here comes Steve Hefford for a bite to the cherry as well. Are they going to go 3 wide into the S's? That's definitely the corner, James, where you want to go 3 wide into.
No, definitely not. They go down into the S's chicane now. Rizzo on the right, car number 47. Ayres on the left, 46. Rizzo goes in, takes out the bollards. They're going to need replacing. Phil in chat there is going to go running on track and replace them after this race. I'll tell you that much. But they're still in second and third. Ayres now is... Look at the teamwork from Momo. Ayres has got Hefford backed right up behind him. There's nowhere for Rizzo to go. He can't get in behind Jamie Ayres unless he nudges Hefford out the way, and that could jeopardize him again. Oh, he's managed to get back in now in the middle of the two Momo guys, but that's freed up PVG out front with a 1.8 second gap currently, and that wasn't expected here tonight, was it?
No, not at all. I think when we saw just a Rizzo at the front of the field, we were like, okay, we could see another memorable driving from that man, but yeah, he seems to be losing a little bit of pace here in the early stages of the race. Maybe not as comfortable on those cold tires or on the high fuel in these cars, but yeah, whatever it might be, Cesar Rizzo not having the pace he did have last week.
Yeah, I think the problem is obviously he got a massive, it looks like he must have got a massive slide on there, because it looked like he was going a little bit wrong before this even really kicked off. And I think from Rizzo's point of view, it probably wasn't best at that specific point, Dan, that we were sitting there saying how amazing he was at the time that he lost the position. So, you know, you're taking that one.
I will take that one.
Yeah, good job. Because I'm not sucking up that. Oh, look at that.
He's going to go for the shot.
Yeah, he needs to get off the grass. Rizzo, get off the grass. Leave that grass alone, because you're not doing yourself any favors at all there, buddy. As you go, look at that bollard. It's just pure pointless. Pure pointless. They're there for decoration. They're like almost having Christmas lights on my Christmas tree. They don't do anything apart from use electric. So, you know, a little bit crazy there with the bollards as well. But Craig Jones is trying to come back through the field. He's battling now with Roger Morton. Roger Morton in the purple roll bar with purple wheels. Car number 92 from Safeguard by result there as well, as these guys are running up from the Melbourne hairpin into Goddard's. Tight left-hander, blind over the curb as well. You cannot actually see the curb on the left-hand side until it comes up last minute. Craig's looking at going around the inside. He's got a tighter line over Morton. Unfortunately, behind him is Elise Main. We haven't seen much of Elise Main in race one, but she is there now battling down with Craig Jones in 12th and 11th there, Dan. Currently, Dan Hunt is in the pits. Daniel Hunt is in the pits.
Elise Main up 5 positions at the moment. She started in P18, I think. Oh, and that is Roger Morton round. Not what he would have wanted, and I think not completely on his own.
Oh, let's have a look here on the gearbox of Roger Morton. Was this at that? No, it was on his own, and then he helped. He was helped, but initially, Dan, he'd already gone.
Yeah, I think he caught the curb with his right rear tire, and that started him, or started the initial spin, but then I think he did get helped in the end. But I think before he got helped, there was no saving that already.
No, he was already on his own. I think that's the thing. He was already gone. So Steve Everett and Jamie Ayres here as well in second, third and fourth, with Rizzo behind him again as these guys go through the S's down into the Melbourne hairpin on 8:15 on the clock currently at the moment, and we're coming to the end of lap 3, nearly on to lap 4. Oh, Rizzo, stop that car there, buddy. Whew. I thought he was going into the back there. It looked like it could have been right proper dodgy.
He's losing some time though. He's getting some big slides in, but Jamie Ayres losing time as well. I think that's the same as Pete Van Gool has, getting the slowdown in the S's, and you lose a couple of positions with that if you're as close as they are at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's the fear, isn't it? That's where that fear is, in not having them static barriers, Dan. They play as much as they can with the limits that they've got, and unfortunately them limits, as PVG found out in the first one, are not always there as what they actually hoped they were. So they've got to be a little bit careful, because as Jamie Ayres has done now, he's got to slow down. He's lost down into 5th and lost 3 places, so it's got to be careful. Surely he's got to be giving them bollards wide berth at least.
Yeah, but also Cesar Rizzo not out of this at all, closing up to Steve Hefford, and Steve Hefford himself closing up to PVG. So Cesar Rizzo could come back at Pete Van Gool to try and overtake him, but he first has to overtake, of course, Steve Hefford, which will not be an easy task for him, let me tell you. That's going to be a difficult one, but NCS, maybe if he can get a good run.
Yeah, maybe, but I think the interesting thing, Dan, as well, the gap is now down to like 8 tenths. The gap to Rizzo and Hefford on the left-hand side, you can see it there, guys. If they're yellow, they're out back of a half a second. If it's orange, they're inside that like half a second gap. As you can see Rizzo here, PVG is going to have something on that. That is not going to be good for Pete Van Gool there. That's either going to be an off track or he's going to cop a slowdown somewhere, because he took so much of them barriers that we did say not to take or not to touch. And I got a funny feeling from his point of view, he may have just done that, because that is not good for PVG. He had to try and steer out the way there, Dan, right at the last minute, trying to throw the car the opposite way. And currently as well, he's now under the cosh from Hefford and Rizzo. I don't think this is going to be done, Dan. 6 minutes on the clock there, buddy.
No, not at all. He had a comfortable lead, but he spilled that with that moment in the S's. Easy to do, easy to just overstep that a little bit. And now he's under attack from Steve Hefford, his own teammate, and Cesar Rizzo, who he did overtake himself at the beginning of this race, not out of this fight at all. And I think it was just the momentum at the beginning of the race that Cesar Rizzo was missing.
Yeah, I think this is it now. He's going to be chasing these guys down as they go up through the old hairpin, running up through McLean's now. Coming up to the left-hander, under the bridge we go. We're going to be looking for the left-hand curb right about now. There it is on the entry. Take as little bit of a late apex as we can, because we've got a blind right-hander before we go into another blind right-hander at the top of the hill, which is Coppice. It's almost a double right. Chez Rizzo going up the inside. We are going, oh, don't take that much. Don't take that much. Oh, did he get away with that? It looked like he got away with that. But that, boy, that was a lot of curb at the top of that hill there.
Yeah, that was a lot of curb, and you can get a slowdown for that if you take too much. Of course, that wasn't too much. Still with at least 2 wheels on the track, but oh, that's a good line. And once again, Pete Van Gool making a mistake there. Cesar Rizzo getting a slowdown. So that wasn't a good line for Cesar Rizzo at all. And Jamie is now back past. He had that slowdown before. Pete Van Gool loses time to Steve Hefford as well. He had that moment there as well in the S's. But it looks like Cesar Rizzo side by side now with Jamie S, because Jamie S went a little bit deep.
Yeah, they did, but Rizzo had that slowdown as well. We said not to take as much of them cones as they wanted to, and unfortunately them guys, they did, and that's copped him now, isn't it? That's copped him into not a good way, as we can see Van Gool trying to close all over the back of Steve Hefford at the moment. Rizzo's trying to make his way back through as well before we go into the last 4 minutes here, Dan, and that slowdown looks like a complete killer in that corner.
Yeah, it does, but also, Pete Van Gool wasn't a comfortable lead, but he just doesn't seem to be comfortable through those S's. A slowdown on the last lap. A mistake this time round once again, which cost him time as well. It's not the most consistent corner on the track for these drivers, is it?
No, and I think that's the thing. They've got to be... well, we've told them to do... We just said they've got to be careful, but they just don't seem to... live and learn. Oh, Jacqueline's off the track. Ooh, that's Mick Barry behind him. No, Ralph Cullinan. And Cullinan's just got past now. PVG's just taking a tighter line up through Coppice, and he looks like he's got the run over Steve Hefford as well. This one is going down to the wire, and as any of the 4 cars here, as you can see, they're within 1 second of each other. That's going to take this is who's going to stay out of the slowdown itself. They've all given it. Look at the berth they gave it at that time around, Dan.
Yeah, and it's now side by side for Steve Hefford and Jamie Ayres once again. Jamie Ayres got to give it a good shot up the inside of Steve Hefford. Now he has to defend, because Cesar Rizzo around this outside does not get the better line through the corner, but maybe the better exit onto the last chicane of the track. 2.5 minutes to go, James. Like you said, this is anyone's victory here to take still. Pete Van Gool, though, looking the best at the moment, but a big step there on the exit.
Yeah, he didn't get too well out of turn 1 there, buddy, and he's going to be looking like he's under a cosh. We're going to have this one and one more. So we're not going to be ending this time around. We're going to have one more lap after this. And these 4 cars have got it here, the bit between their teeth. It's who's going to stay out of the slowdown area of the S's. Turn 9 and 10, which is the left-right chicane, that should technically take that victory. But it's got to be done properly, and they've got the old hairpin to contend with as well, and they give it a nice wide berth there as well. So from these point of perspectives, they are giving the berth where they need to, but They've still got one more lap down, and as you say, this could be absolutely anybody's victory across these front four.
At the moment, I think Pete Van Gool is looking the best there, but there is that, well, can we call it now famous chicane? The S is coming up, because at this point, I think every driver from the top four here has taken a slowdown there this race at some point.
Oh, Ches, get in behind Hefford. He's got to use Hefford's draft. I know there's not going to be much that far out, but here we go. Oh, no.
Well, that was inevitable, was it, James? That contact, you can't run through there side by side. It's not a corner that is made to run through there side by side. You gotta give each other a massive respect if you want to run through there side by side, and it did not happen, did it, James?
No, it did not happen. We saw it coming. I was shouting no. They couldn't hear me. And clearly now for Ches Rizzo and Jamie Ayres, they have dropped down the order. It's all about PVG and Steve Hefford on that last lap. And as you can see, that goes across the line. Barney, his flag is Barney, the flag bearer, is waving. So there we go. Looks like Mick Barry's got himself involved in an incident as well. Still currently leading the AM class, mind you. He's got a nice 8-second gap over Craig Jones. Ches Rizzo still trying to chase down Jamie Ayres. The gap's down to less than a second now. Carl Jacklett has, however, got Ralph Cullen tucked up right behind him, and PVG has got Steve Evans right behind him. So there we go. So it's going to be a little bit of a run down into the line to see how this one pounds out here this evening for race 2. But that is it. We are at the end of race 2, and now we are seeing it all come down to this. PVG, Steve Hefford in the S's final lap. Can we avoid the slowdown? Can we avoid the slowdown? Can PVG, Puck, can your brother avoid the slowdown? Here we go for the final time. No, possibly. Did Steve Hefford manage it? He did. On this run down into the Melbourne hairpin now. Oh, Steve's going to go. Oh, he's not going to. I don't think he's going to get it. No, Steve's overcooked it. It's all on PVG. PVG is going to take this victory here tonight. Steve Hefford in second place there. And I think that's going to be Carl Jacklett's going to come across the line in third. So there we go. Steve's on a little bit of a run again, Dan. There's 2 races in a row on the podium.
Could he better his 7 races in a row? We won't see it this evening, but we could see it next week if he does manage to finish on the podium 2 times more this evening.
Yeah. Oh! Good job.
Both Mormon guys.
It's what we expected. As Roger Morton is looking to coming across the line. There is Roger there. There's Darren McLean. Steve Hansford behind him. Andy Littler behind that one as well. There's an issue with Littler's livery there, and that's what's causing the bottom car to be as knotted as it is. Because his livery's a little bit skew-whiffy. So Craig Crawford comes across the line as well. Alan Toon coming round the final corner with Dale Bennison tucked up right behind him. So there we go. These guys are coming over the line. Job done and done. And we'll just wait for the results to come up here as well. We have got Carl Jacklett up in the booth. We will bring Carl in very, very shortly. But Dan, there's the results for you, buddy.
Well, after a grueling race 2 for some drivers at the slowdown at the S, it is Pete Van Gool who managed it the best. Of course, got 1 slowdown and made 1 mistake, but still came out on top. Fought his way back past Steve Hefford, Carl Jacklett in P3, Ralph Cullen in P4, P5 for Cesar Rizzo, P6 for Jamie Ayres, Mick Barry in P7, Craig Jones in P8, P9 for Charles Kellyman, P10 for Elise Main, Darrell Wright in P11, P12 for Roger Morton. 13 is Darren McLean, I have to say. Steve Hansford in P14, P15 Andy Littler, P16 Craig Crawford, Sir Alan Toon in P17, Dale Bennison in P18, 19th Andy Maxwell, Danny Hunt in P20, and 21st Pete Newman.
Yeah, let's bring Carl Juggler in to the booth and have a quick chat with Carl while we're looking before the race sessions come up again. Carl, how are you, young sir? How's it going?
Yeah, recovering from a cold at the moment, but that was great. Really enjoyed that.
I really enjoyed that as well, and I'll give you my reasons, Carl. After the last rough week that you had last week, and you know the up and down season, you got a clean run, you showed your pace, and you got the car into third place.
Yeah, I was lucky with people falling off in front of me as well, but you've got to be there to collect on those opportunities. So yeah, I was very happy.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to be, right? You know.
Yeah.
On the board, points on the board, third place, podium. You get to pop the champagne and pour it all over PVG's head. But what more could you ask for?
I know, it's brilliant. Absolutely chuffed, really chuffed.
Absolutely. We're going into race 3 now, buddy. You know, is there a plan for race 3, Carl, or are we just going to go out and give it our all and smash it for all of us here in the booth and the viewers itself?
Well, this time I'm going to try not to spin the wheels up on the start. That's 2 starts in a row I've spun the back wheels up. Obviously, the grip is quite low tonight. And just try and keep clean and get those finishes on the board.
I think that's the important thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to finish these races.
Yeah, absolutely there as well. But Carl, thank you so much for joining us. We are going to be looking at swapping over sessions. So I have a good race 3, and hopefully we'll speak to you again this evening when I can turn around and say congratulations on your victory.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Oh,
that'd be very nice.
Yeah, absolutely, Carl. We'll look forward to talking to you soon there, buddy. Thank you again for joining me in the booth. Always a pleasure.
My pleasure, mate. Cheers.
Right, there we go, guys. We are going to jump onto a BRB screen now very, very shortly. We're going to take a quick break just to get swapped over into the sessions as well. So much love, and we'll catch you on the other side. Okay, guys, we are back here with race 3. We are in the session now. Phil, send you a message, James, when you have a minute after the racing. Use link on the bottom of page. Another great racing session. Where will I see that message, Phil? Where did you send it to me, buddy? Let me know where you sent it, and I can have a look at it, because clearly I don't have a clue where you sent it to me. So let me know where you sent it, bud. That would be great, because then I can have a look at where it is. 2:41 on the clock currently at the end of practice. Dan, another full session I expect to see here this evening as well from these guys, doing an absolutely stellar job so far, and I'm not expecting anything different really as we go into race 3.
I mean, neither. The race 2 was in my opinion a little bit better than race 1. Race 1 was a really calm one, if we can say it like that. It was a really calm one, a really timid one. But yeah, race 3, definitely the reverse grid did deliver for us, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we're going to be in for more of the same, as we can see here, with PBG taking the victory. Steve Everett second, Carl Jacklett third. So there we go, that is the end of practice. The end of race 2 results as we go into practice currently at this moment in time. So we are here at Donington Park. As always, guys, you've got myself and Dan Pepels bringing you all the action this evening. So much love to you for being here. If you are here, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, turn on the bells for notifications, don't forget to subscribe. We're 2 away from 150. Not bad for a month of racing on the JPB YouTube channel currently as well, so we're absolutely flying. So much love to everybody who has subscribed previously. That is absolutely incredible. So there we go, thank you very much.
150
from me. Yep.
Amazing.
Yep. Have we reached 150? I need to update. Yes, we have.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, we have. It's amazing.
Yes. Website's inquiry. Oh, okay, mate. Sorry. Yeah, I will have a look at that when I get 2 seconds. Wait for that to come through, and then we'll go. Then I'll have a look. But much love to you. So I'll just see if that comes through, Phil, before I say it has or it hasn't. But hopefully it should do as normal, pop through in my emails, and I will get chance to have a look when I get 2 seconds. So there we go. But overall, nice, good racing so far. We heard from Carl Jacklett. He's happy with his 3rd place. Going to try and keep it on track this time around and do the job. So, yeah, it should be interesting to see what Carl can do here as well. Jamie Ayres breaking the 148s. As well, 147s for Andy Maxwell as well. We're expecting them times to come down as well. So there we go. Should be an interesting one. I haven't got anything at the moment, Phil. I don't know if you want to get hold of me on Discord there, buddy. If you've got Discord yourself, you can get hold of me on Discord. I will try somehow in my magical powers and copy it through. But possibly going to be not. I don't know if you've got Discord, Phil, or not. But if need be, we will see it as well. So thank you so much for that. As we come on to the grid for race 3, Dan, speed read, mate, because they're all coming up very, very quickly. Let's go.
Darrell Wright P1, Darren McLean P2, Lee's Main P3, P4, Charles Kellyman P5, Craig Jones P6, Big Barry, Jezza Rizzo P7, P8 for Ralph Cullinan, Daddy on the P9, Carl Jacklett P10, Jamie Ayres P11, P12 for Steve Hefford, P13, Pete Van Gool, Pete Newman and P14, 15 for Steve Hansard, P60, Andy Maxwell, P17, Andy Littler, 18, Dale Madison, Craig Crawford, P19, Sir Alan Toon in 20th.
There we go.
Hope that was quick enough.
That was done. Well done, you. I'm proud of you. You got it right, and you did it fast enough. So should be an interesting one, as we can see here with the race. We will be going on laps, guys. Got Darrell Wright on pole position currently at the moment as well. So 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and race 3 is underway. Darrell Wright is leading us away currently in the arm leader, obviously on the front of the grid. Darren McLean is there as well with Elise Main. She's pushing up into 2nd place currently at the moment. So Elise Main doing an absolutely stellar job on the start and is absolutely flying as they come through Red Gate at the moment. As Elise Main taking the lead. Elise Main taking the lead. The Lioness. Oh, we've got Ralph Cullinan goes down the order faster than an elevator at Trump Towers, and that is why he is off track and now at the back. So Elise Main there is at the back. Craig Jones has got Ches Rizzo trying to come up the inside of him. That's Charles Kellerman. He's just got past currently at the moment. So Rizzo on the right hand side. The black Aguila car over the obstacle green of Charles Kellerman. They are going side by side currently up coming into the top part of the McLeans, and then before they go up, running up the hill into Coppice, and that is Ches Rizzo through. Rizzo up into fourth currently at the moment. Dan, all good so far apart from Ralph Cullinan taking a little bit of an excursion off track.
Yeah, Ralph Cullinan off the track. Oh, Danny the Hunt trying to pass Charles Kellyman. He has got past now. They're 3 wide because Steve Heffert wants a piece of it as well. Look at this. We're basically 2 bags of 3 wide into the S's. This cannot age well. There wasn't room for 2 cars side by side here. They are going to try it. This is Charles Kellyman.
Oh, sorry, Dan.
They did make it through this time. I don't know where they were almost for. They actually made it through this time, James.
Yeah, Ches Rizzo diving up the inside of Craig Jones. Jones going down into 4th place currently at the moment as well. Hefford there alongside. Oh no, Main's got to slow down. Main's got to slow down and is going to plummet down the order. And has dropped all the way down into the bottom. Darren McLean find himself in pole position. Can Darren McLean have a good race? Please, 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 Darren, have a good race here, as he's got the looming Italian of Ches Rizzo right behind him currently at the moment. Steve Hefford's in the mix as well, as is Craig Jones and Daniel Hunt. Daniel Hunt just about to go up into Redgate, past Jones for 4th place. Wow, that was an epic few corners there, and poor old Elise Main with that slowdown dropped it all the way down the field. So is Mick Barry. He's just doing donuts in the grass currently at the moment. He's dropped all the way down to the bottom. Elise Main's in the pits. I wonder what happened there with her. But Darren McLean is under. No, Darren.
Can he keep it though?
Yes, but he's dropped all the way down the order into 6th place currently at the moment as well. So poor Darren McLean drops down into 6th there. So that's a bit of a shame. Steve Hefford trying to make it 3 podiums out of 3 this evening, and he's doing a stellar job about it at the moment there, Dan. He's now up into the lead at the moment.
Yeah, he has got into the lead, but he has the ever-closing Daniel Hunt behind him. Always fast, that man. And he seems to be fast, really, really fast this evening. Once again, he's going to try it into the S's. No, he's not. Maybe the more sensible decision to do. Oh, is that round? Is that Craig Jones round as well? I think he did that on his own. That looked like rear locking into the S's. The side by side a little bit further back into the S's as well. The S's, James, is causing all sorts of troubles for these drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're going to have to be a little bit more careful there in that S's, because it has caused a problem. We've got 9 laps here at the moment as well. Pete Newman currently out in 4th place, up 10. Steve Hefford up 11 there as well. I looked away for 1 second and McLean is in 9th. Yes, mate, he went off track on that run up from the old hairpin up into Starkey's Bridge, and he was on the grass. And as you know, the grass in iRacing is like ice, and he's dropped all the way down the order, so he's got to try and come and fight his way back through. Currently sitting in 8th place, so he's cleared Carl Jacquelet there as well, but currently out in front. Steve Hefford has got the ever-looming DOF Reality Sim Racing Studios of Dan Hunt climbing all over the back of him here as well. Hunt's blew up! Hunt blew up! Hunt's got puff! You're done!
No! How did that happen then?
He went bang, he chased down too quickly, and this MX5 has just gone kaput. And that is Dan Hunt out of the race. He's in the pits. There's going to be a new engine. There's going to be at least 30 minutes of repairs. He's going to miss this race. There's going to be no points on the doors for Dan Hunt. He's gone bang. Big puff of grey smoke's come out, and it's all done and dusted there as well. So he has gone down the order and finished off completely into the pits now as well. PVG climbing all over the back of Jamie Ayres, who's trying to keep up with Pete Newman in front. Ches Rizzo in second, 2.6 down the road. He's chasing down Steve Hefford currently at the moment in race 3. So can these guys keep this up? Can they stay in front of Newman? That's going to be more to the point, Dan.
Well, Pete Newman has been quick this whole evening. Jamie Ayres is in P4 ahead of him at the moment. And Pete Newman and P3. I think Pete Newman will be able to stay ahead of him because he's been quick this whole evening as well. But yeah, Jamie Ayres is going to have to look in his mirrors because Pete Van Gool is pressurizing him a lot here.
Yeah, Newman has closed the gap up to 1.3 over Rizzo. He's got Ayres right behind him, mind you, so that's going to be interesting. I love Zach's pun in chat. Smoking more than the Crimean Bridge, he's put it as. So there we go. I'm going to pinch that one next time, Zach, as well, so much love to you. Hope you are doing well, young sir. Darren McLean is back up into 7th and chasing down Charles Kellerman currently at the moment. So that is Darren McLean making his way back through. So unlucky. Got the lead, lost it just about now, and then ended up on the grass on the right-hand side here on this run up into Starkey's, and there was just nowhere for Darren to go. He managed to hold on to the car. Car didn't go round, and he's now moving up all over the back of Charles Kellerman. Look at this. There is Kellerman there. If he's not careful, he don't want to leave that door open because he's got the ever-looming car number 42 behind him, which is Carl Jacquelet, and that does not want to take place because Jacquelet's on fire at the moment. Up into he's currently in 8th place, up 2. So there we go. But PVG, Jamie Ayres is having this battle here down. What's going to take place as we go into the last 5 laps?
Well, I couldn't really say. The only thing that I am, or that I do know, is that there are going to be a couple more slowdowns probably in the SS. The SS are going to cause some more trouble for our drivers. I think we can say that with a 99% success rate. But yeah, it's well, there isn't really any given in this league apart from the fact that you are going to see some good racing. Yeah, absolutely. Newman has climbed all over the back of Ches Rizzo at the moment as well. So Newman and Rizzo are going to be locked in a battle. Hepford's kind of cleared off now. He's gone and done and dusted, gone down he's just made his way out and is currently absolutely flying down there as well. So good old Steve Hepford is going to make it 3 out of 3 on the podiums, hopefully, as well for him. So he's continuing on his run. Can he break his streak of 7? That we will only have to see whether or not he can do that. Can Rizzo hold on to Newman? That's going to be the thing there, Dan. He's got to kind of almost build a wall behind him or chuck everything out of the car at him, and because he's got an open top, but he's got this man, Pete Newman, looming all over him at the moment. As you can see there is Rizzo in front, car number 47. I think Everett's hoping that Rizzo holds him up as long as possible. Yeah, but Rizzo is really fast himself as well, so this pair is, as a pair, gaining on Steve Hefford. So I think if Newman is maybe sensible here, he senses that, and he's like, okay, I'm going to stay behind, and we're both going to catch up to Hefford, and then I can attack. But I don't know if Newman is a driver that thinks like that. No. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There's the run. The upside, the inside door is wide open, and Rizzo is just about to get burgled for his 2nd place, and that is Newman, I'm going to presume, through and done and dusted, and he did do so. Absolutely stellar job there from Pete Newman. Is now setting on the task of catching up to Steve Hefford. I'm not sure if Hefford's a little bit too far away at the moment, but Kellerman, McLean, Wright and Jones here as well, all chasing down Carl Jacquelet. What can they do from this position down? What do we reckon? Kellerman down in 7th currently at the moment. Well, a good position for Charles Kellerman. Although McLean, after starting that far up the order, he must be a little bit disappointed to, well, give away those positions that easily. Because I think there was quite a good result in there for him if he would have stayed clean at the beginning of the race. But of course, those things have happened. The only thing he can do now is try and come back from it. He's trying to do so, but he first has to overtake Charles Kellerman. Indeed, Charles Kellerman. I was looking a little bit too far. No. Down the order, down McLean off, and that's not going to be a good recovery for him. That's going to be absolutely nothing that he's going to gain from that. He's going to lose all positions he has just gained, and he's down into P14. James, what happened there? He just locked up coming out of the old hairpin, I think, and that's what's caused him to lock up, and he's just locked up and done and dusted. Rizzo is not letting Newman get away. However, the gap to Hefford has come down, and this could turn into a freeway here between Rizzo. Oh, Steve Hefford's got to slow down.
Steve Everett's got to slow down. Can he hang on? He's not going to be able to. Rizzo's now got to keep up with Newman because they've given Newman a door and he doesn't need much to go through it and open it up and take the lead, I'll tell you that much, and he doesn't need much to be pulling away the gap. So we're going to have to see how Rizzo can do here, but I think I've got a funny feeling this is going to be Newman's fight and Newman's race to lose here, Dan. Now I think that's just too Steve Everett and that S's section, Dan, that we talked about is just too much, isn't it? They need to give that a big old wide berth currently.
Yeah, at the moment that looks like a little bit too much of an ask. But look a little bit further into the background with now 3 laps to go. The man with the Momo livery, the white livery stickers. This man, Pete Van Gool, he is on an absolute run at the moment. Fastest lap last time round with a 144.79. Oh, and that is, I think, yeah, sends a Rizzo off. And Pete Van Gool gets that position easily. He could chase down, you know. Pete Newman at the front of the field is not going to try and go around the outside of Steve Hefford. Can he make that one stick? Steve Hefford saying, no, you're not going to go past that easily. But it looks like Pete Van Gool is really, really quick here.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have much longer to try and get this job done currently at the moment either. This is going to be, well, for Steve Everett, this is going to be uncomfortable because he's going to have the recovering Rizzo who's just been off and the ever-flying PVG, the Dutchman here as well, is absolutely flying currently at this moment in time.
Flying Dutchman.
The Flying Dutchman. There we go. Absolutely amazing. Well done, Dan. Nice pun.
Well, he's now going to try and go up the inside of Steve Hefford. Can he make that MX5 fly? Yes, he can. Past Steve Hefford. But they're... Or are they still side by side? I think Steve Hefford is not going to let this one go without a fight. He's going to try and get up the inside of second hairpin once again. Oh, he's going to shoot both wide, and that is going to allow Cesar Rizzo to get past Pete Van Gool once again. Not the best of racecraft, I think, there from Steve Hefford. Shot a little bit wide, and Pete Van Gool had to go with him not to get collected in that.
Yeah, unfortunately that's dropped him down the like giving that gap really to Rizzo, and Rizzo can now make this last. Can he make this last here this evening? So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys got on. Bear with on the timing tower. It's having a little bit of a funny moment, but I tell you what, Rizzo in third place at the moment is going to be absolutely climbing all over the back of Steve Everett. And I tell you what, if Steve Everett isn't careful, he's going to have Rizzo climbing or getting past him here, Dan. We've got 1 lap to go after this one before these guys enter into the final lap of the race.
Yeah, and once again we're seeing a battle, at least for the podium, until the last lap of the race. This is what you can expect. Chase Rizzo all over the back of Steve Hefford. Pete Van Gool's now going to try and capitalize on that as well. He gets a good run out of Coppes. Can he make that run work down into the S? Cesar Rizzo, for some reason, not showing anymore. Oh, there he is all of a sudden. Oh, that could be close, and that is Pete Van Gool, I think, with a slowdown.
No, he's still going, Dan. Touch wood, he's still going at the moment, and we're on lap 8 here this evening. Oh, this is going to be a tight last lap. Don't go anywhere, guys. This is going to be a tight last lap here between Steve Everett, Ches Rizzo, and also PVG. But I've got a funny feeling, Dan, this is Pete Newman's race as we go into the last lap here, mate. I think Newman's got this.
Yeah, he's not going to lose 2.3 seconds to anyone in this field in 1 lap without, and I quote, without making a mistake. Because if he does make one, the gap is quite close enough to for the drivers behind him to capitalize on that. So he has to stay clean, but he also doesn't need to take any risks anymore, does he now?
None. He's got to make it through the S's cleanly, mind you. And currently Rizzo is climbing all over the back of Hefford here. I'm not entirely sure how Rizzo's going to handle this, because we're on the last lap. He either looks at sending it down into the next section as they're coming up the hill after McLean's into Starkey's, and there's a date going on in YouTube chat if anybody's interested. But I'm sure the moderator will jump on that one as soon as possible. As we can see Ches Rizzo coming up through Coppice at the moment on the right hand side. They do say, mind you, if these bots start turning up in your chat, your channel's doing well. So there we go. Much love to everybody. We're clearly pushing too much higher up on the YouTube, and now we're getting all these wonderful bots that are telling us we're all lonely and single and we need a date. Well, if you want to tell my missus that, go for your life. This is no, Ches, just no. Ches, no.
Oh,
Ches,
is that gonna work?
No.
That must be a slowdown for Heffler.
Everyone's gonna come over. Oh, VG's there. VG's there as well. Oh, they're free wide going around Melbourne Heaven. Oh no. Steve's hanging on here. He's still got his podium currently at the moment. Newman is going to take the victory. That is going to be a given.
Oh, they're breaking from Steve Heffler. Oh, B Newman's round. And both mobile guys crash into each other, which allows Cesar Rizzo to go around. Pete Van Gool was looking good. He's had an up and down race. He is now on P5. Steve Heffler in P3 and Jamie Ayres in P4. That's not the first time we've seen that, do we, James? These mobile guys have done that more than once.
Oh, absolutely unbelievable there as well. From the three guys right at the end, and the man that capitalized the most from that was Ches Rizzo. Hefford goes in. I don't know if Pete Van Gool was just slow. He just got tapped from Hefford. And I think the funny thing is from that as well, from the Steve Hefford's point of view, he looked like he wanted that podium place so badly. He just pushed Van Gool out of the way.
Well, let me tell you, he braked really late into the last hairpin.
Oh, dearie me. Oh, mate, I mean, that's so that just sums up the racing spirit we've got going on here as we see Sir Alan Toon going across the line as well. Martin Sampson's laughing in YouTube chat as well. Martin can't believe what's going on. We're having a chuckle up here in the booth as well, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out. We're just going to wait for the results to come in. I think we're waiting for Elise Main to finish off her run. And here comes car number 66. The Lioness herself is coming round now and going over the line. So well done to Elise Main there, finishing the race down in 18th place and then sticks it into the wall. So there we go. Oh, right, the results are in, Dan. There you go, buddy.
Well, here we go once again. Pete Newman, this time a winner. Quite a comfortable win for him after getting into the lead. He pulled out 4.4 seconds over Cesar Rizzo, Steve Hefford, Jamie Ayres, and Pete Van Gool. So second, Cesar Rizzo, Steve Hefford, P3, Jamie Ayres in P4, P5 for Pete Van Gool. Carl Jacklett couldn't capitalize on the fact that Pete Van Gool was spun round, although by himself or by Steve Hefford. I think we get another pull up for that. I think we get another pull up for that. I would agree. Steve Hefford did put him around.
Yeah, Steve Hefford put him around. No pole needed. Like.
Greg Jones in P7, the winner of the AM class. Well done to him. Darrell Wright in P8 and second in the AM class. Josh Kellerman in P9 overall. Andy Maxwell P10. P11 for Ralph Cullen. Dale Benison in P3 in the AM class. Steve Hansford in P13. P14 Craig Crawford. Mick Barry in P15. He had such a good evening up to this point. Won both races, but now he's down in P6 in that class. Andy Littler in P16. P17 for Sir Alan Toon. And Elise Main in P18.
Right, we've got PVG coming into the booth as well, so we are going to hear from the one and only Pete Van Gool. Pete.
Oh, who needs enemies when you've got teammates, mate? Can't get the staff, eh?
Well, mate, it was an impression at the end of the race on the last corner, wasn't it?
Yeah, an impression in my rear bonnet, it was.
I think the funniest thing I said in chat as well, I think Steve wanted to keep on to his podium run that badly that once he pushed you, he just carried on pushing you out the way.
He was really late on the brakes trying to outbrake Ches there, and I was taking that inside line like you do. And then I just got, once I got on throttle, I just just pushed around. Oh.
Well, mate, you having a good evening?
It was amazing, man. My face just hurts from smiling.
The problem is I don't really know what to say because I'm supposed to be sat here pressing my beeper button, going with beep 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 with you swearing your head off, but you're not really doing that. You come into the booth laughing. Mike Sampson's laughing in chat as well about it, by the way, as well, just if it's any consolation.
Yeah.
But look, mate, a victory, that's not bad in race 2.
No. I would be podium in race 3.
Yeah. Yeah, it should have been podium.
It was the racing is just it's just so much fun, and it's so close, and tiniest of mistakes just unsettles the car and gets you an off track and a slowdown. And man, it was really good. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah. It was definitely a good one, mate, and I enjoyed it as well. But we'll go on to race 4, which, as we know, can be quite chaotic at times. What's the plan for you in race 4 there, buddy?
Staying alive.
As the BG said as well. So there we go, guys. That is the one and only Pete Van Gaal in chat. Much love for joining me in the booth, Pete. Good luck in race 4. Stay away from Steve and Jamie, clearly.
Yeah. Definitely stay away from my teammates. Nothing good comes from it. So.
No, clearly not, mate. You're supposed to be working together. First rule of racing, don't take out your teammate.
Yeah, well, Steve needs to redo his rule book, I think.
Okay, mate. Well, you've got the incident report form, so go for your life.
All right, have fun.
Have fun, mate. Take care.
Take care.
Right, we're going to bring in Ches Rizzo in to the booth. Ches, well, you capitalised at the end of that one, didn't you there, buddy?
James, I take full credit for that. It was all the pressure. The race before, I was stuck behind those 3 guys.
Yeah.
And then that one there, I slowed Steve down through the chicane, brought Pete into the mix, which brought Jamie into the mix. I bunched them all on the inside. They had a crash, and I just sailed by, waving, "Bye, guys. I'll take second. Thank you very much."
That was the plan, obviously, Ches, wasn't it?
Between you and me, yes, it was, mate.
Okay, mate.
100%. I manifested that when I was lining up, when I saw those red lights come on, when I was on the grid, I manifested that whole incident.
And if you believe that guy, well, you just believe absolutely anything. But Ches, look, it doesn't matter how you got there, mate. You capitalised on that second place, and that's it at the end of the day. Being in the right spot at the right time of racing, isn't it? Sometimes.
That's it. It's there was moments in that race where I was hanging on. I was really hanging on, and I just thought, all it takes is a small incident, something, this track is so difficult in this new car. The off tracks are so close. The grass is treacherous. And then the 2 hairpins at the end, if you get on the gas just that split second too early, you're losing traction. So anything can happen. Anything can happen. So it was a case of just hanging on there and just biding my time.
And we're going into race 4, Ches. And we know that can be quite chaotic at times.
Yeah, to be honest with you, James, I'm watching out. First lap, old hairpin, it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be very dangerous.
I fully agree with you. Pete Van Gaal is going to stay away from his teammates because he said nothing good could come of that at all after Steve Evans punning him off. So, look, there's a lot of love going on in Momo's probably up in the chat room about now. So, look, at the end of the day, it was great racing. Ches, congratulations on your second place, mate. Not having a bad night so far. Go into race 4. You never know what we're going to be able to say at the end of it. Maybe we can get you back in the booth and say, Ches Rizzo, congratulations on your victory.
Hopefully so. Hopefully so. I'll come back at the end of the race and have another chat with you, James.
All right, mate. You take care. Cheers for joining us.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
Bye. All right. There we go, guys, as well. Elise Bain. Oh, what a shameful way to take myself out of a race. Drive-through penalty in first. 0. Oh, never mind, Elise. It happens to the best of us. There's been loads of slowdowns going on tonight, so don't worry too much, I promise you. But yeah, no, that's not good, is it really? But we've got race 4 to recover from, Elise. Don't forget, race 4 is there. It's anybody's game in race 4 because you know how chaotic it can get. But guys, we're going to jump onto a BRB. I'm waiting for the session to come up. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bells for notifications. And as always, we will see you very, very shortly. Okay, guys, we are back at it once again, and you've still got myself, James Parfitt, and Daan Pepels in the booth, bringing you all the action there as well. Poor old Elise Main, such a shame, but much love from Phil there for giving a good old bad luck there, rooting for you in race 4. So let's see what you could do in race 4. That would be absolutely amazing. We are into practice again, and we've only got a couple of minutes left this time. The guys did like to have a good old chinwag at the end of that race, so I was in a bit of a rush, and Dan scared me even more by telling me I've only got a minute left of the session, and I wasn't even pressed to join yet. Well, not good enough, Dan.
I thought the session was 8 minutes long with a practice session, but luckily it was 10.
Luckily it was 10, yes. So you can stop panicking me now. So I'm here now, and we're good to go. So there you go. Much love to everybody, as always, for joining us, guys. It's been absolutely amazing having you all here in chat, as it always is every Tuesday evening. Don't forget, guys, as well, we've got some next-gen GT3 action coming up for you tomorrow. That, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is coming to you live from Imola. So we've got the next-gen GT3s from Imola. We got racing from the Radicals on Thursday. That's Watkins Glen's boot. And then on Friday, we got the Radical Sim Racing Sprint World Cup coming from the AMs and the Pros and the Europeans, and then the Americas at 1:30 in the morning. Now, on Saturday, not only am I off doing an endurance race for somebody else, on Saturday, I'm also at 1 o'clock in the morning on the Sunday. I am doing the 100 Cup Series from Las Vegas with myself and Michael David. So we are broadcasting the 100 Cup Series there as well. And then with myself and Dan on Wednesday, we got the Radical Sim Racing Endurance, Dan. So that's going to be an exciting one as well. But I'm looking forward to it, guys. Sunday. Okay. So if anybody hasn't watched the 100 Cup Series ovals, you should definitely go back and catch the one we did last time. But we have got the Las Vegas race for the 100 Cup Series on Sunday morning if you're in the UK.
Las Vegas Motor Speedway, I'm guessing.
Yes, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Pure oval, so that's going to be absolutely incredible. So I cannot wait for that one as well. So you can join us at 1 o'clock Sunday morning for that one there as well. But we've got a lot going on over this week, so please, as I say, turn on the bells for notifications, because you're not going to want to miss any of this action. The grid is up there. Dan, can you do it in time? Up you go.
Well, Elise Main this time takes pole position. She had a good start last time round. She will try and have that same thing again in the fourth race. Sir Alan Tudor P2, Andy Lilla P3, Mick Barry P4, P5, Greg Crawford, Steve Hatcher P6, Dale Patterson P7, 8 as well, Cullen, Andy Maxwell P9, P10, Charles Kellyman P11, Darrell Wright, Greg Jones P12, Carl Jackler P13, P14, Pete Funkel, Jamie S P15, P16, Steve Hefford, 17, Cesar Rizzo, P18, Pete Newman, Darren McLean P19, and 20 Daniel Hunt.
Right, we're away. Give me 2 seconds, Phil. I'll have a look at that one. The race is underway here in Donny. 9 laps of racing, and we go on board with your leader currently, Elise Main, who is absolutely flying up front with the 2 wet guy by result guys behind him. Mick Barry is just separated them there as well, almost coming back through as well. So it's an AM 2, 3, 4 at the moment as these guys go racing down into the old airpin for the first time. And unfortunately, I'm seeing Craig Jones.
Off the grass.
Craig Jones is off. Craig Jones is off. There's a lot going on at the back. I thought Jamie Ayres was going down the order. Daniel Hunt as well. Oh, Chance, where you going sideways, mate? That's not good.
That is, I think, Darrell Wright up as well. Mick Barry as well off. In the distance.
Ches says to us he's going to take it easy at the old hairpin. We get the old hairpin. We go on board with Ches and he's going sideways. So Elise Main currently has got a 2.2 second gap. So Alan Toon is in second place. God out! As he's got Ralph Cullinan right behind him though as well. That's the fear currently at the moment. Steve Hansford's Alan off at the same time. Charles Kellerman's in the pits. Mick Barry went off. Darrell Wright went off. Ches Rizzo went off, as you saw. Craig Jones as well. So there was a lot going on in that opening start there. Dan, well, there you go. Race 4 is underway.
Yeah, race 4. They always much spoken about race 4, and Cesar Rizzo Getting an early end to that race. Let's see what happened to him. Did he have another track excursion? Yes, he did. And Mick Barry is getting caught up in that. No, that was good awareness there from Mick Barry, seeing that he was going to come across the track once again. So, yeah, hats off to Mick Barry for seeing that. Down the inside now, Pete Van Gool on Sir Alan Toon. Sir Alan Toon, not the fastest here, but he's causing, well, what do we say about that?
Oh, go on, Alan Toon. That's all we can say about that. As he leads us down into turn one. Alan Toon here currently sitting down in fifth. PVG's going to go around the outside. Steve Evans going to go around the outside. Alan Toon is just about to be eaten up here as well, faster than absolutely anything currently at the moment. He's dropping down the order. He's now got Pete Newman coming up beside him as well. I like about Alan Toon's had a good old go, and that's all we can say here. As you can see, Pete Newman trying to climb all the way over the back. Daniel Hunt's going to make this opportunity. He's not going to hang about. He goes past Carl Jacqueline and makes his way through. Alan Toon is in the front of these three cars currently at the moment, so he is being somewhat of a roadblock and really giving Pete Newman a good old fight. As we see Alan Toon, oh, sad times, he's just got off track and has allowed the Pete Newman, Carl Jacqueline and no, not Craig Crawford. No, Craig Crawford. So Alan Toon down. He's leading the AMs though, Dan. That's good.
Yeah, he is. He's still leading the AMs though with about an 8/10 gap to Craig Crawford. Dale Bennison behind that half a second as well. So Sir Alan Toon doing a tremendous job here at the start of race 4.
Yeah, Ralph Cullen is trying to keep Andy Maxwell at bay. Jamie Ayres, Steve Efford, Pete Bagel. Pete said he's staying away from his teammates. Well, kind of needs to, so there we go. James, has he done his racing homework yet? Who are we talking about this time? I know Matt was off doing history homework on F1 after not knowing who Nigel Mansell was, but, you know.
Yeah.
He was off doing homework, so I think that's Matt Zenith there was off doing homework, so hopefully he's done it in time for tomorrow's next gen GT3. So I'll be able to drill him about who Nigel Mansell was. I want a full list of history of Nigel Mansell's achievements. So that's going to be interesting. But Ralph Cullen in here and Andy Maxwell are going to be up under the cosh. I'd like to point out, currently, Elise Main was in chat saying that she managed to take herself out and it wasn't good. Rizzo's in the pits, Kellerman's in the pits. We can see that at the bottom of the screen. They're out at the moment. But Elise Main's got a 4-second gap over these guys in front at the moment, so can she hold on, you reckon?
Well, a 4.1 second gap, we haven't seen that anywhere else apart from the finish of the last race with Pete Newman, and that gap, well, Pete Newman never looked back, did he? But Ralph Cullen, the perfect at the moment roadblock for Elise May. Pete Van Gool, though, we know he's really quick. Steve Efford, we know he's really quick. As is Andy Maxwell and Jamie Ayres, Pete Newman, so a lot of really quick drivers up the back of Ralph Cullen. But if he can keep his car there, he's going to do Lee's Main a good old favor.
Oh, God. Every time I see these three cars together, I get so nervous.
Yeah, me too, man. Pete Van Gool out of Steve Efford again.
Yeah. It's like take 2, race 4, isn't it? So be prepared here, guys, as well. This could end up in a completely wrong place as we see history repeating itself. Anybody want a date? They're going on in chat at the same time as well. God blimey, they're just not learning here, are they? That we don't. Oh, here we go. Here we go. PVG, Steve Efford running down into turn 1. Steve's tapped up right behind Pete Van Gool at the moment as well, with Ralph Cullen right in front of him at the moment as well. Elise Main's further nearly opened the gap to 5 seconds, Dan. Can she hold it as these guys going down through Redgate? Pete Van Gool, oh dear, he's going to be dreading this. I could just imagine PVG's face in that car at the moment. Absolutely scared out of his wits, Dan. He's got Steve Efford right behind him.
I think we could take a look on board with Pete Van Gool actually and take a look into his eyes. Don't know if we have that camera still, that onboard camera, but oh, that's Ralph Cullen dropping down the order, and that might have been a mistake or a slowdown, I don't really know yet, but Ralph Cullen dropping down the order, faster than a stone going down the ocean. I think that was a good one.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah,
God,
exactly. But yeah, Ralph Cullen losing that position out to Danny Hunt as well. They're still side by side going into Coppice. Oh, Daniel Hunt, is he going to keep that? Yes, he is. Called Jacqueline.
Oh,
Oh, big drift for Daniel Hunt there. Ralph Cullen gets ahead because of it. But that was Daniel Hunt giving you a lesson of how to drift this Mazda MX-5. Carl Jacklin and Andy Maxwell gaining behind him as well because of it. This is about to become a 7-horse race, that.
I'm trying to get, I don't think the camera is on this set. We might not be able to see into PVG's eyes on this one, but we have got Steve Hefford right behind him. Elise Main's now 5.2 down the road. It is Elise's to lose. She's got to hold on for 5 more laps. Oh no, this is take 2. No.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Mick Barry and Greg Crawford have ever coming together. Dale Benison has now taken the lead in the AMs. We will pick up that battle, I promise you, at some point. Oh dear. Oh no. Look at them all together.
I'm going to repeat this dear.
Momo, Pure Sims Momo. Well.
Oh, look how close Steve Hefford is to the back of Pete Van Gool. Oh, James, there's a point where you just can't watch these Momo guys drive. They've done so well in the first races of this season to finish in that top 5 consistently of all those 3 cars, but last race really was one of the ones where...
Oh, no, PVG's on the grass! Oh, no. Pete, get it back! Get it back! Oh, PVG's has lost it on the grass. Steve Evans trying to block off Newman.
Giving him a good old twist.
Oh, don't go too wide. No, not into the chicane. Not into the S's. Not too wide in the S's. Not too wide in the S's. Oh. Oh, there's got to be a slowdown. There's got to be something on Pete Newman there because he cut half the second chicane. Elise Main, as soon as you see Pete Newman's got to slow down. Told you it was coming. He got to slow down. We saw it on the chicane there as well. Can he get this time off just by driving to the next slow corner? Now that's what I do when I get a slow down, Dan. I'll try and see where I am on track and see if I can make
it. Oh, Pete Newman, also close to the back of Steve Hefford. I saw it going around.
Oh, there's the Cullinan. There's the Cullinan come together. That's allowed Jacklin into the mix as well now. Steve Hefford is up 14, Newman 15, Van Gool 10, and Hunt is up 15 places as well. So there are your gainers and losers on the left-hand side. Alan Toon all the way down 13 positions, but fair play to Alan Toon. He gave it a good old go at the beginning, and that's as much love as I can give him on that one. Oh, Pete's got a lot better run at the old hairpin. There he is. There, the white car bobbing all over the back of Pete Newman. There he is, PVG, Steve Hefford, Daniel Hunt. How's this going to work out, Dan, with 3 laps remaining?
Well, I don't know. The thing that I do know is, of course, Phil said after last race, Bad Luck Elise is still rooting for you in race 4. And at the moment, Elise having, well, she's in the league of her own at the moment. Steve Hefford not able to catch up to her. And with 3 laps left after this one, she's looking good in that first place with a 5.3 second lead. 146.41 for Elise last time out. 146.52 to Steve Hefford. So she gained another 10th. PVG has got Daniel Hunt climbing all over. Hefford wide.
Yeah, Hefford's got him wide. Newman's got past him at the moment as well as we're going running up into Goddard's now. They're going to be a 4-way battle here for this podium. I bet you, I reckon Steve is really thinking about that podium record. If he gets this again tonight, it's 4 races in a row. So he's starting his streak again. Can he get the 7 podiums that he had last time? I think that's going to be the question, guys. Can Steve Hefford start this 7 podium streak? But at the moment, he's got Newman up the inside of him. So
we can argue if he would be able to keep that that podium from last race. But at the moment, they're side by side once again. Pete Van Gool being boxed in between Steve Hefford and Pete Newman up ahead of him. Daniel Hunt wants some of it as well. They're going to go 3 wide down the old hairpin. Not at the moment. And they're going to settle in single file once again. Daniel Hunt getting a great run through that old hairpin. And Pete Van Gool being demoted down a position. He got a great run through there, didn't he, Daniel?
Yeah, Daniel Hunt took an absolute barnstorming line through that old hairpin, and has put himself up into 4th place now, closing down. Oh, Jamie has taken a little bit of a wide line. He's going to have Carl Jacklett now tucked up right behind him. Newman's got Hefford right behind him as well. Hunt is up behind Hefford. Newman really needs this draft, and he really needs this here as well. Don't jinx here. We'll try not to. I'm not even clicking on a main up front at the moment. She's got 5.3 second gap, but I'm just going to literally leave her to do her race. Not going to put her on the broadcast until the very end if I can help it, because I don't want anything to happen. I know some things can happen, and it's not even our fault, is it? So there we go. Jacklett and Ayres here as well. Jacklett's going up the inside. Oh, Ayres cuts his nose off and says, nope. No, for you, definitely not. But can Steve Hefford hold on? Can Steve Hefford? It's normally about this time in the race, Dan. I write down the leader as the winner. And I can't do that yet because I feel nervous.
Why is that?
Because Elise Main's out in front and I don't want anything to happen. I literally do not want anything to happen.
Are you not convinced in the ability that Elise Main has? Is that what you're saying here, James?
No, I believe in I believe in this hoodoo of this commentator's curse that for some whatever reason we seem to make drivers spin off the track.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
I'm just going to sit here and not write her name down just yet. I'm also worried that the gap has come down nearly over half a second, and she's got 1 lap remaining. So hopefully Main won't drop too much time and can take the victory. So just be aware here as well. After a terrible race 3, Elise Main is out in front. That just flashed by. Gap's down to 4.2. It is dropping so fast. It is unbelievable at the moment. Main needs to just literally try and do the 146 that she can do, because Newman's on a 145 at the moment, and he's currently flying here, Dan. I'm a little bit worried. The gap's down below 3. Oh no. Oh no. James,
don't worry. From my calculations, she's going to be absolutely fine, but we know you can't go off my calculations anyway.
No, I can't.
That was the intended pun.
Yeah, 3.6. 3.6.
She's going to be fine. She dropped, at the moment, she's dropped 2 seconds, and she has well over 2 seconds. She can drop 3 seconds, and then Pete Newman still isn't passed. So a lot of time still for Elise Main to spare here, but she has to keep that last lap clean.
Last lap, Main's out in front with Newman in second, Hefford third, Hunt fourth, Van Gaal fifth. Hefford is still continuing on his run of podium streaks at the moment. This will be 4 in a row for Steve Hefford at this moment in time. Gap's down to 3.3. They're coming down through Craner Curve. Main is on the old hairpin. I'm not clicking on them yet until they go at least around the S's, at least there as well before we cross over. Daniel Hunt's taking a little bit of an excursion, so is PVG. That's going to be an off track for both of them as they come up and now go through McLean's and up into Coppice they go. Can 2.9 on the left-hand side.
Fine, James, she's fine. You can write it down. I have written her down as the winner here, so if something happens, you can put it on me. But I don't think anything is going to happen to Elise Main. That gap back out to 3 seconds with basically less than half a lap to go. I think she's fine.
I know, but it's the S's. It's the S's. Good.
No risk at all through there.
Good. Well done. Well done. No risking it for a biscuit. Steve Hefford now is in 3rd place still. Steve's run 4 podiums tonight. Can he continue on to that through 7? Here we go. Get it out, Phil. Elise Main is going to be looking at coming across the line, goes into Gollards for the final time this evening. Not clicked on her all night, didn't want to jeopardize the race 4 broadcast commentator's curse, and here we go. Elise Main goes across the line, takes the victory here for race 4. Elise Main, the lioness herself, take a bow. Car number 66, Optical Red, has done the job and has taken the victory. Fair play, Dan. I thought that could have gone horribly wrong. It didn't. She did it. Well done.
I'm learning, Jason. My calculations, once again, were right.
Yeah, by 1.9 seconds.
Indeed.
Craig and Darren McLean just crossed the line really close together in 10th and 11th. Bennison here in 12th. Craig Jones takes the victory in the AMS. Bennison and then Mick Barry. Then Andy Littler comes across the line there as well. Sir Alan Toon tucked up right behind him at the moment. So Sir Alan Toon coming across the line in 15th. Please, Steve Hansford 16th. Darryl Wright is in 17th. Had a rotten race there. Was involved and went off track, and it was all a little bit messy for Darryl Wright. Craig Crawford from Optical Red has come through as well, currently in final place of 18th. Whew. Fair play,
Well done, James.
fair play to Elise Main.
Yeah. Once again, what an evening of racing we've seen. And I think we do have the results from the last race on for you on screen right now. Elise Main won ahead of Pete Newman, Steve Hefford in P3, and Daniel Hunt in P4. All those four covered within 3.2 seconds in the end. Pete Fangool just behind that in P5, P6 for Carl Jacklin, P7 Ralph Cullen, and Jamie Ayres in P8, P9 for Andy Maxwell. Craig Jones in P10, Darren McLean in P11, Dale Bennison in P12, Craig Jones winner in the AM class, Dale Bennison second, and Mick Barry once again on the podium. Andy Littler in P14, Sir Alan Toon in P15, dropping down to P5 in the AM class after that great start he had. Steve Hansford in P16, Darryl Wright in P17, and P18 for Craig Crawford.
Yeah, Phil's just put, you're okay, you don't need a sack, Dan. No, I don't. He got his information correct, and Elise Main survived, so fair play. Dan, I believe you're leaving us quite quickly this evening, so you're off. So much love for you. Thank you for joining me this evening, and I will see you on Sunday for the Radical Sim Racing Endurance there, buddy. So take care, and thanks again for joining me in the booth there, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Right, so that is Dan Peoples had to rush off this evening early on. Straight after this, so you've got myself, James Parfitt, and Dan Peoples have brought you all the action this evening. We're just seeing if anybody fancies having a good old chinwag with me here tonight. So that would be cool if people would come and say hello, PVG or Steve or Ches. Where are you at, Ches? I thought you were coming into the booth, Mr. Ches Rizzo. As well, so let's see if we can get somebody in. But much love for everybody who has jumped in, who has joined me this evening as well. Chat69, thank you so much for coming in with your messages. Phil across the pond as always as well. Elise Main herself jumped in. Martin Sampson. Hope Kian, hope you're okay there, buddy, and enjoyed watching your dad. Do you know what, Kian? It was really weird. He did have a good one from when he mentioned that about the fact of you jumping in. You were watching him, but overall he's had a good night. Zach Sweeney as well. Thank you so much for joining us again in the booth, in the chat. Darryl Wright, PVG as well. Daniel, as always. Puck, thank you so much again for joining me this early on. And if you are watching it live, guys, don't forget to give the video a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to turn on the bells, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well, because that will be absolutely amazing. We are above 150 now, on 151. So let's see if we can get somebody in for an interview and celebrate the victory. We'll just see if we can get hold of the winner from race 4 and see if she's up for jumping in. But if not, we'll give them another minute and then we'll round it out. But as per always, guys, it's been a wonderful evening of racing here as well. Pete Newman taking a victory in race 1, PVG in race 2, Pete Newman in race 3, and Elise Main in 4. The most important thing for Steve Hefford is his second, his third, and his third, and now is on that run of 4 podiums in a row. Again, can he beat his 7 he set up to Phillip Island race 4 last week, where it went, and he unfortunately missed out on getting a continuation, because that would have been 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 podiums in a row for Steve Hefford. So he would have had an absolutely stellar job. But it doesn't look like, guys, we're going to be joined by any interviews this evening as well. So basically, thank you so much again for joining me for this absolutely epic evening of racing. We are now, yes, happy to hold him off. Must have been scrapping. Yes, you absolutely was there as well. So incredible from you. We'll bring you up the schedule for this one. If you fancy popping into the booth at least and having a chat with me, go for it. So the schedule itself is Donington this week. Then we've got Mosport next week. VIR in round 7 in the 25th of October. First, they go to Mid-Ohio, then we've got Sonoma, then we've got Zandvoort, Road Atlanta, and we finish off in November at Knock Hill. So that's going to be an incredible evening, the season of racing as well. So make sure you tune in for that one, as we've got some great tracks coming up, especially Mosport as well. I think Mosport's going to be absolutely incredible. So guys, as always, all that's left for me to say for good evening, thank you to everybody joining me, is as from myself, Dan, and everybody here at JBB, you all take care, have a great week, and you never know, we might see you on the track next time. Take care.